everybody, Lotu for Life here, bringing you guys a brand new deck profile. This time around, I'm going to be doing my updated World Chalice deck list for the newest ban list that just came out a few days ago. Really been liking this. I was saying for the longest time that, oh hey, if Konami really wants to push World Chalice, I should put Rabbit to 3, and they did. So yeah, like oh my god, I'm so happy Rabbit got put to 3 for this deck. But to be honest, it was really for this deck and not much else. I mean, yeah, sure, Dino Rabbit's a thing again, but I don't think that's going to do much. I mean, who knows, maybe I'll be wrong at the UDS and the regionals that are going on this weekend, but well, we'll see. So guys, this is my World Chalice deck. Let's get on to this before I just go off on a tangent. So first and foremost, I'm still playing 380 level 5 guy. So this thing is really good. Basically, while it's out on the field, if your opponent tries to special summon something from the extra deck, you can send it from your hand, from your field to the graveyard, and then destroy that card. Actually, I think it just sends it to the grave, right? Yeah, it sends it to the graveyard, so it doesn't even destroy. So, like, if they make a Bills or something, oh, hey, yeah, you don't really care. So, but you don't really ever use that, I'm going to be completely honest. What you mainly use it are for its other two effects, where if it's sent from the field to the graveyard while after being tribute summoned, you can spell summon any 2 World Chalice monsters from your deck, and then if it's in your graveyard, it's at the turn that it was sent there, you can banish it, add a World Legacy card from your deck to your hand. Really good card overall. It's never a dead draw, or at least I've never had a dead draw with it. Sometimes I don't see it enough, which is kind of annoying, but oh well. Really good card. And then we got 3 of each of the normal monsters, because this deck heavily relies on normal monsters, especially with Rabbit being at 3. So yeah, you just basically, they're your main link fodder. Some things of note is that Chosen is a sidekick and he's level 3, so he's a E-Telly target. And then like you got your level 2, and then the level 4 guy, he's a warrior, so you can search him off with Rhoda. So you got some really good synergy with the deck going on here. I just really like these normal monsters in general. So yeah. Moving on, and you really need to play 3 of each in my experience, because you tend to burn through them so much. Like back when I wasn't playing, I was testing out like 1 and 2 of her, and heck, even none of her, and I would find that sometimes I would just have no World Chalice in my hand to be able to combo, and so I decided to put more World Chalice in the deck, and hey, now I can do my combos again. So yeah. So now then, next up we got Triple the Little Puppy. Puppy Dragon. So, World Chalice Guard Dragon. Level 1, 400 attack, 400 defense. Really good hand trap with a Monster Reborn effect. So basically while he's in your hand or on your field and your opponent targets a card, well, a monster that you control that is linked, or well, in a linked state, so either being pointed at or pointing to something, you can send them from your hand or field to the graveyard to negate that targeting effect, and then if you do, destroy it. Sadly, if Masterpiece is unaffected by monster effects, you can't stop him, which is really obnoxious, and I learned the hard way and it lost me a duel. But beside the point. So, and then if this guy is in your graveyard, you can banish him to special summon a normal monster from your graveyard into a zone that's being pointed to by a link monster that you control. So really good overall. Just, it's a really good combo extender and can save your butt from losing if you absolutely like have to use the saving effect. Not gonna lie though, you tend to use the Monster Reborn effect more often than you do use the hand trap effect. And then we got 3 of the bunny. So yeah, this thing went back to 3 and it helps so much. Oh my god, it helps so much. So basically, I shouldn't have to explain what bunny does. I'm sure everybody does. But hey, if you don't know, it can't be special summoned from the deck if I remember correctly, yeah. And then you can banish it while it's on the field and then special summon 2 normal monsters from your graveyard with the same level. They are banished at the end of the turn if they're still on the field. And you can only use that effect once per turn. So it's a hard once per turn, so if you have multiple bunnies and like, I don't know, Brilliant Fusion, you're not gonna be able to use multiple of their effects. But however, you're still able to, just go off, and it's so stupid. I love this little guy. He's so good in this deck, and it just helps this deck so much and propels it to actually be a viable choice for taking to tournaments and, well, tournaments. I will give you a forewarning though. You gotta move fast with this deck, because this deck's combos last forever, and whenever I'm in tournament with this, I almost always go into time while still in game 1. It's just something that happens and it's annoying. So next up, I'm still playing only 2 Lee. So I know I got yelled at in my last video, my last deck profile about it, but let me explain, okay? So I really honestly don't think you need 3 Lee. I find her to be a brick if I have 3 Lee in the deck. I mean, yes, she's a really great card being a Stratos where, oh hey, if she's normal or spell summon, you can search out any rolled Chalice monster from your deck to your hand, except herself. But the big thing is that she's recurable. If she's in your graveyard, you can pitch a monster, or I believe it's any card. You can send 1 monster. Okay, so it is a monster. Send any monster from your hand to the graveyard and then add her back to your hand. So you don't really need to play 3. That, and also you oftentimes just usually end up dumping her with Brilliant Fusion and then you use her effect to get her back. So really, in all honesty, you don't need 3. Now, is 3 a good idea? Yeah, sure, of course. But however, in my personal experience, I found that I just never have needed 3 in the deck. I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's down to player preference. If you really want to play 3, go ahead. But I just, in my experience, I found that I don't need 3. I gotta make that clear because if I don't, people are gonna yell at me. And actually, people are gonna yell at me anyways. But anyways. Moving on, a little tech I like in this deck a lot is Exodius, the Ultimate Forbidden Lord. Now you might be wondering, what the hell is this thing? So, he cannot be normal summoned or set, or if he can, okay, yeah, cannot be normal summoned or set. You must first be special summoned from your hand by returning all monsters in your graveyard to your deck. And then after that, he gains 1,000 attack while on the field for every normal monster in your graveyard. And whenever he attacks, you must send a normal monster, or I believe any monster, from your hand or deck to the graveyard. Now, and then he also has a win condition effect if you send all 5 pieces of Exodia with his effect to the grave, but that's irrelevant because we're not playing Exodia. So, the big thing about this guy though is that he puts every single monster in your graveyard back into your deck. World Chalice have no recursion. Okay, well, almost no recursion. They have 2 recursions, Lee's Own Effect and World Legacy, World Legacy's Heart. And I guess you could also say that the field spell has like a kind of recursion effect, but it's not really, I mean, like, being honest. So the big thing is that this deck, I've had times where I go through all 15 cards in my extra deck in 1 turn. I've had times where I go through almost every card in my extra deck in 1 turn. And then, oh, hey, my opponent does a board wipe and I can't do anything because they just basically eradicated everything. And so, yeah, in order to like really be able to make a comeback and anything, and not only that, but also this deck just burns through its monsters in general so fast, you absolutely, I feel like you need to play 2 of this guy in this deck in order to have any chance of coming back from a board wipe, because he just puts everything back, he puts all your extra egg monsters back, and then not only that, but also he's another body on board, so therefore, oh hey, he's another link fodder material. Not only that, but also if like you do him, like you summon him before you go along with the rest of your combo plays, and then oh hey, at the end of your combo, you have like 9 normal monsters in your graveyard. He's 9,000 attack power. So yeah, he can get really, really high up there, and he can help with OTKs and stuff. So I really feel like that he's just a really good all-around card. I kind of want to test him out at 3, but I'm kind of scared that at 3 he might be a brick. So I don't know. I might do an updated version later on if I do end up playing 3 of him. Next up, I'm playing 2 Gem Knight Lazuli for the Brilliant Fusion target. So basically, if she's sent from anywhere to the graveyard by a card effect, you can add a normal monster from your grave to your hand. So generally speaking, you want to get a normal in your graveyard, Brilliant Fusion, send her and Lee, grab back the normal off of Lazuli's effect, and then you can pitch something to bring back Lee to your hand. And that is really, really good overall. Not only that, but also if Lee is in your graveyard and you have Lazuli in your hand, you can pitch Lazuli to the graveyard for Lee's effect, and then Lazuli will activate, allowing you to grab a normal monster from your graveyard to your hand. So you have some recursion with that and everything, and it's just really, really good, just having a free card basically. Now for the one-of monsters, I'm playing 1 Rescue Ferret. This is partly because I am playing the Rescue Rabbit search card, and so in order to be able to resolve 2 of them, I need to have a 4th target. Not only that, but also Ferret is just a really nice combo extender and everything. Not only, and to add on to that, he's oftentimes a strike bait. Like, you summon him, you try to use his effect, he shuffles back to deck for cost, and then strike, okay? I found that, like, oftentimes if people strike anything, they're going to strike a Ferret or a Rabbit, so I'd rather have them strike Ferret than Rabbit, because Ferret goes back to my deck to do it again later on, so yeah, just really good card overall. And then 1 Maxi, just because, well, Maxi's still at 1, yay! And it just occurred to me, I forgot to mention what Ferret does. He does basically the same thing as a Rabbit, but you gotta summon the monsters to the arrows that your links point to, and they gotta have a total level of 6, which is not hard to do in this deck at all. So yeah, that's the entire monster lineup for the deck. And now then, moving on to the spells, I got triple Brilliant Fusion. Kind of goes without saying because, oh my god, the Brilliant Fusion plays in this deck are really, really, really good. So this it's a mandatory staple of. I freaking love it. It's really, really good in this deck if you open Brilliant Fusion and Rabbit. It's so stupid. And then we got triple World Legacy's Heart, trying to get some of that monster recursion, just grabbing back 2 World Legacy with different names, sorry, World Chalice with different names from your graveyard to your hand. And then if a monster in a linked state would die by battle, you can banish it from your graveyard instead. I really wish it would protect from card effects too, but it only protects from battle. Then we got 2 of the field spell. It pumps up all your World Chalice by 300 attack and defense. And then if a World Chalice monster or monsters is killed by a card effect, you can target one of those monsters that died by that card effect, bring it back in defense position. Now sadly, because it specifies in defense position, you cannot bring back your link monsters, which is really, really obnoxious. And then we got 2, and oh god, I have to say this really slow or I'm going to butcher it. Emerging Emergency Rescue. I love that name, but good lord, it's a mouthful. So this card is the Rescue Rabbit search card I mentioned earlier. You can also, of course, grab Ferret. So you can only activate this card if your life points are lower than your opponent's, which is not hard to do in this deck. Like, generally speaking, your life points are going to be lower than your opponent's most of the time. And then you reveal 3 beast-type monsters with 300 attack and 100 defense from your deck. Your opponent picks 1, add it to your hand, the other 2 get shuffled back to your deck. So because I'm playing 3 Rescue Rabbit and 1 Ferret, I can resolve both of these if I absolutely have to. Obviously, preferably, I won't have to, but however, I still like having that option because I feel like if I only played 1 of this, I wouldn't see it enough. But with 2 of it, it's like basically I'm playing 5 rabbits, which is really, really good. And then 1 Soul Charge because you kind of need Soul Charge for this deck. It helps with going for that extra link play, which extra link is kind of hard to do. Like maybe if I had more than 1 Firewall Dragon. Yeah, I still only have 1. The card is still kind of expensive. Maybe soon, hopefully I will be able to get 1 more, but Soul Charge just helps out a lot. 1 Emergency Teleport for just, you know, Chosen's a level 3 Psychic. Rhoda for the level 4 Warrior guy. And then 1 for 1 to get out the Dragon from deck. And then because I only got 2 traps in here, I'm going to put them here as well. 2 Back to the Front. So Back to the Front has a really nasty combo with what I would call this deck's like real boss monster. At this point, because this card is really good for not only that, but also it's good for combo extenders and saving your life points if like your opponent blows out your board. And then like you got some really funny plays with like, oh hey, you can use it, bring back leader, and your opponent's turn search off a card, and then next turn you can use Lee's effect again whenever you normal summon or spell summon it, and then oh hey, you have Tribute Fodder for the level 5. So just a really good card overall for this deck. I wish it was a spell, but it's a trap, so you can't really do anything about that. But anyways, just a really good card for this deck. You'll notice that I do not play the Venus build. I was playing it. I tested it out and everything. And I liked it for a solid, I don't know, 5 minutes. I don't like the Venus build. I don't know why. I just couldn't get around with it. It did not sit well with me for some reason. And then once Rabbit came to 3, I'm like, yeah, I don't need Venus anymore. So I just took out those for the 2 extra rabbits and some other stuff. Anyway, so onto the extra deck. Like 90% of this extra deck is just 3 of the link monsters. So first and foremost, we got 3 of the Imduk, the World Chalice Dragon. So he's like your generally first link monster you go into. If not, it's going to be the next guy. And Imduk grants you an extra normal summon for a World Chalice monster. He's also a bit of a construct, but only for a monster that he points to, so he's just not that great. Not to mention, he gives your opponent a zone, and you don't want to give them that. And then he, like all World Chalice Link monsters, is if he's sent from the field to the graveyard, you can spell summon a World Chalice from your hand. So really good card overall. And generally speaking, he or this guy here, Aurum, the World Chalice Blade Master, are going to be your main starting cards. Well, starting extra deck monsters at least. So Aurum, he's really, really good. He just needs 2 World Chalices to go into. And basically what he does is he gains 300 attack for every World Legacy in your graveyard. That's really, really irrelevant, to be completely honest. He has the floating effect like all World Chalice Link monsters, but the big thing with him is that he can tribute one of the World Chalice monsters that he points to, and then target one monster in your graveyard other than the monster that you just tributed, and then spell summon that monster to the zone that he points to. Now the big key thing here is that he can bring back any monster from your graveyard. So you can recur your Seraphonite from your graveyard to bring her back, and then, oh hey, you get your extra normal summons and stuff again. And then not only that, but also you can bring back your Firewalls, your Topologic Bomber Dragons, anything. It doesn't have to be a World Chalice monster that he brings back. I always thought that he had to bring back a World Chalice monster, but no, it's anything. So that means if like your opponent strikes the normal summon of a Rescue Rabbit, you can use his effect to bring back the Rescue Rabbit from your graveyard to use its effect. Unless I'm completely misremembering, because I'm pretty sure, yeah, okay, so yeah, it doesn't have to be normal summon. I was getting its effect kind of mixed up with Rescue Hamster. Anyway, so moving on. We got 3 Ib, the World Chalice Priestess. So Ib is really, really good, and she's usually the next one you make after Aurum, and 10 to 1 you're going to be sitting on her for most of the duel. So basically, Ib, while she's in a linked state, she can't be targeted by or destroyed by card effects or by battle. So therefore, if you have 2 of them pointing to each other, unless your opponent kaiju's one of them, you don't have to worry about a darn thing. Like, you really don't, because you just summon them, put them together, and then just wait until the most opportune time to make a counter attack against your opponent. So really, really good card overall. She also has, of course, the floating effect. 1800 attack too is really great. 2100 if you have the field spell out, which is just really great. Really good card overall. Oh yeah, and then if a monster that she points to would be destroyed, you can send her from field to grave instead. I've honestly never used that. I've never had to. Then we got 2 Ningirsu. So I originally was only playing 1, but then I found that I could just take out something that I never went into, because for the longest time I played double Daigusto Emerald after my original deck profile, and then I found that I never made Daigusto Emerald, so I took out 1 for Ningirsu. And then, well, for another Ningirsu, and then the freaking ban list came out and banned Daigusto Emerald for some silly reason, so now I had to find something else to put in here. So I was half tempted to put a 3rd Ningirsu in, but honestly, you never really make more than 1 in a game, to be completely honest, but the second one is just a backup. So Ningirsu is kind of sort of boss monster. I don't consider him to be a true boss monster for the deck. He needs 2 link monsters to go into. And of course he has the floating effect, and then he has 2 really, really good effects. First and foremost, if he's link summoned, when he's link summoned, you can draw cards up to the number of World Chalice monsters that he points to, so therefore you can draw up to a max of 3, which is actually really easy to do. It just requires a lot of card placement and memorization where you want to put stuff. And then his other thing is that once per turn you can send 1 card you control and 1 card your opponent controls from the field to the graveyard. So like you can send your Dead Brilliant Fusion and your opponent's, I don't know, Dragonic Diagram and stuff. So it's a really, really good card overall. He just doesn't feel like a boss monster. Am I the only one who like feels like that? I don't know. But either way, really good card overall. And then we got 1 Firewall Dragon. I know I need to play 2 at the very least. I need to get a second one. Hopefully I'm going to be able to get one soon. I can't guarantee it. I'll probably do an updated version of this deck if I do get a second Firewall. But right now I'm just playing 1. Then 1 Topologic Bomber Dragon. So I joked earlier that this guy is the deck's true boss monster. And I'm honestly not lying in a sense, because oftentimes, at least right now until I get a second Firewall, I find myself making this guy more often than Firewall, because he can just punch over everything. If you got Ibs out, you don't have to worry about them getting destroyed by his effect. So for those who don't know, Topologic Bomber Dragon, first and foremost, he has the Flame Wingman effect, where if he kills a monster in battle, your opponent takes damage equal to that monster's attack power. And then this is not a once per turn, and it's a mandatory effect. If a monster is special summoned to the link zone of a link monster, destroy all monsters in the main monster zone. So that means that if your opponent or you or your opponent special summon a monster to the zone where a link monster points to, he nukes the main monster zone for both players. So and it goes for your opponent's link monsters too, and other link monsters. So like, let's say I have 2 Ibs out underneath him, and then I like back to the front onto a leaf from like one of the Ibs zones that like he's not pointing to. So like let's say like I have it like set up like this. Let's say I summon a monster to this one, special summoning it. His effect will trigger nuking everything in a main monster zone. Not only that, but also if your opponent has a decode talker or anything like that, and they special summon to that decode talker zone, he'll nuke the main monster zone as well. It's so good, and is such a mean card. I freaking love this guy. Not only that, but also you're only out to Masterpiece. I'm not joking about that. Like, it really does suck, because he's 50 over Masterpiece, and honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I often find myself wanting to play 2 because he usually ends up getting killed by Masterpiece before I can run him over, which is why I gotta bait out the Masterpiece effect, but still, really good card. And for the 1xyz monster, Abyss Dweller, I was playing. Of course, I Gust Arm rolled, and the Gust Arm roll got banned. So I figured Abyss Dweller was a good replacement for now, because True Draco, a lot of their stuff resolves in the graveyard. Dinosaurs are still probably going to be pretty good, so this stops the baby Ceratosaurus and stuff. It's just a really good card overall. If and when I do get a second Firewall, I'm probably going to replace Abyss Dweller with the second Firewall. And then 1 Seraphonite. You can play 2, but considering that you can just bring her back from the graveyard, it's really simple. It's not that hard, so you can just play 1 and get away with it. You could play 2, so if you want to play 2, take out the Abyss Dweller for a second one. I honestly never really find myself needing 2 though, because like generally speaking, if you resolve that Brilliant Fusion, you're generally either going to make a really darn good board or you're going to win the duel. So you really don't have to like really rely on 2 good old Gem Knight, Seraphonite. And then also you got M-Duck, who does basically the same thing. So guys, that is the deck profile. What do you guys think? I freaking love this deck. It is such a fun deck and archetype, and I really hope it gets more support. This deck, it seems like the Konami is doing another one and done kind of thing. Or like, oh hey, this is an archetype, here you go. And then it gets nothing else. And then they moved on to Crawlers, and then Crawlers aren't getting anything after that. And it looks like it might be the same case for the Jack Knights. But hopefully, considering where the story of this like little Lorg is going for, with like Lee getting turned evil or something, maybe we'll get another Link monster or something. I don't know. Hopefully, we'll see something in Extreme Force for this set, for this archetype, I should say. So guys, what do you think of the deck? Thank you all for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Have a great day. If it's your birthday, happy birthday. And see you all later. Peace out and goodbye.